back to another episode of Inside Access Control. Today, I'm excited to have Don Erickson with me. He's the CEO of the Security Industry Association, also known as SIA. So, Don, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it.
Hey, Lee, I'm happy to be here. You're doing an amazing job with these podcasts, these webcasts, and all your programs. And it's been really refreshing to have positive content out there. So thank you.
No problem. I appreciate it. I think it's just a small piece of what I can do to try to help. So thank you. And wanted to spend a little bit of time just to get a little feedback and information from you on SIA and everything that's going on in the marketplace currently now.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a really important, critical time for our members, right? So today we represent about 1,100 companies, manufacturers, integrators, distributors, as well as students. And we're hearing a lot from our members right now. They're uncertain about what's next. They were very concerned about whether or not they would be declared an essential employee or an essential business. And fortunately, we were able to work with the Monitoring Association and the Electronic Security Association to address that, to cover the industry. But obviously a lot of concern out there right now. And I think the industry is also very focused on how they can best leverage federal assistance programs, such as the one dealing with the Paycheck Protection Program that a lot of small businesses are interested in.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of information out there. It's actually, I can imagine if you're trying to juggle a small business and read all that, it's hard. So are there any available resources that you have or you can point to?
So two things, Lee. We've been working very closely with ASIS International, and we're co-linking to each other's pages. So if you go to securityindustry.org, you'll find all of our resources related to COVID-19, and you'll also have the opportunity to look at resources provided by ASIS. But also, we have put out very concise summaries of the various federal coronavirus assistance packages that have been enacted by Congress. I encourage all businesses to look at those. We are also producing a number of webinars dealing with business continuity and how do you manage remote workforce, how do you address issues in the supply chain that may be disrupted. So all of that content will be rolling out in the next couple of weeks, and appreciate your support and spreading the word. Obviously, small businesses are very concerned right now. They don't know what's next. They're working to keep their businesses open. They're working closely with their customers to ensure that security systems stay active and working and functional. But we also have to shout out, I think, to our first responders that we work closely with. As you know, the security industry has a long history working with law enforcement. And I think we owe them a particular debt of gratitude during this time. They're doing an amazing job. All of us know doctors and nurses, who are our friends or our neighbors or family members who are on the front line. Last night I had a call with some high school friends. One's a Port Authority cop in New York who's right in the center of things. Another's an emergency room nurse at Elmhurst Hospital in New York, where I went to high school not far from there. Let's also remember the project managers and the installers and the technicians who are actually out in the field, right? We're talking a lot about staying home and how important that is, but let's remember there are people in the industry that have to get out right now and have families. So I think part of our message as an industry right now has been, we've done a great job helping each other and sharing information and sharing expertise, but let's remember those that are truly out there fighting coronavirus at the same time.
Absolutely. I think one of the byproducts, I was talking to somebody about it over the weekend, where it's an interesting, where a lot of them, the channel side of it was seen as sort of a sell-through, to where now even the term just essential on that has highlighted the need and the importance of it. And then, yes, absolutely, the recognition goes out immensely to the people on the front lines that are dealing with a lot of this.
So one of the things that people have to keep in mind about the essential business designation, there was a lot of confusion, Lee, in the beginning that CISA came out with Department of Homeland Security with the guidance talking about what businesses or industries are considered essential. Many people thought they were covered by the guidance initially, but really where the rubber hits the road is the state and local ordinances. And people need to pay attention to what different states are adopting in terms of shelter at home policies, as well as local communities. And you can't just rely on the DHS guidance itself. And so we've been very successful, I think, thus far at educating the industry about that, and have put out a tool on our website that talks about which states and which communities have adopted stay-at-home ordinances and which apply to security and what the provisions are.
Is there anything that you need or the association needs? So if I'm a manufacturer or, I have the ability to give some resources, do whatever, what could you and the association use right now?
We need content. What's going to keep businesses operating and successful and being more attentive and responsive to their customers right now? How are they managing their workforces? What best practices or first-time practices, rather, are they using to work with their customers? issues such as managing remote workforces. I think that type of information, what policies they're putting in place in their own businesses that they can share with other companies in the industry, I think that would be most helpful. We have a Center of Excellence on the SIA webpage. We'd be happy to house all of the content there and share it with. I think, Lee, also what's really important during this time is collaboration. And I mentioned and alluded to that we've collaborated with ESA, the Monitoring Association, ASIS International. But let's talk for a minute about what's next. I mean, how do we help our industry and our companies respond after we get through COVID-19? And we will, right? So we're going to be optimistic that we're going to get through this in a matter of time, and everybody believes that, and the industry will come back as strong as ever, much as it did during 9/11 and other tragic times. But collaboration remains really important. And one of the things we're doing is working with Women in International Security. I know you've had Min on the program before. We are going to produce a virtual program dealing with wellness and work-life balance and helping people who face first responders in particular, or those in law enforcement, or even integrators on the front line, those that are facing really stressful situations. How do you cope with that? And how do you get through it? And I think that's the topic of wellness is extremely important. It impacts everybody in our industry right now to be mindful of. So please stay tuned for more information from WEIS and SIA about that program. And the other thing, Lee, to talk about, and unfortunately this is starting to happen a little bit, is that companies are cutting back on their workforce.
Right.
So even though you have the Paycheck Protection Program, which will cover a business up to about 8 weeks, companies are, as you know, issuing furloughs or even reductions. SIA and other associations are mindful of that. And we're in the process right now, next couple of weeks, of standing up a job board for the industry where companies and individuals can search for positions or post positions. That's going to be for the benefit of the industry. And we're working very closely with ESA, Merlin there, under the auspices of our new foundation, the Foundation for Advancing Security Talent. So please keep an eye out for that as well, because unfortunately, we expect people will be looking for new positions.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate byproduct of this going on. But I'm glad to hear that ASIS and SIA and everybody's working together, ESA. It's good to see the collaboration. I think it's needed. It makes it a lot easier for people, I think, to navigate the information that if it's just coming out together. So the leadership on that side of what you all are doing on that end is great to see. So thank you for doing that.
You know what? I'm going to give my direct line, mobile, 301-641-6758. You're welcome to call or text. You can also email me at Erickson, ERICKSON, at securityindustry.org. But again, Lee, I appreciate you providing the platform for us to get the information out and talk about the resources that are available.
No, thanks for making the time. I know it's busy for you, so I appreciate what a lot of volunteers, a lot of staff are doing. It changes probably on the hour, if not quicker than that. So thank you for taking the time and the leadership in doing it.
Great. Well, again, thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate everything you're doing.
You too. Thank you, Don.
All right, thanks, Lee.